Were you able to find drama within the story?
Oh, absolutely. There it is. It is built in. As I read this book, I was wondering. I've read of many authors who explain some image or some incident that they ran across that created a book in them. I remember William Faulkner, my favorite writer. There's just no comparison with Faulkner. But he said he was in the woods once in Mississippi, almost in a bog, and out in the deep woods, and he came across a bear track that had been pressed deeply into the ground, and it was slowly filling up with water that was seeping in, and he realized that the bear had been only a few steps ahead of him, that it was just filling up and coming back up. And he said, I realized then that the bear was watching me. I couldn't see him, but he was watching me. He was only a few steps ahead. And he said, from that book, that created the book. That one incident, that one observation. And as I read your book, I wondered, where did Glenn first see this book? You have a lot of rich characters. You have a plot that's built in. It ends on the high seas with an unexpected death. And, it has all the drama there. And I wondered, where did you start? What suddenly exploded in you that said, I've got to put this down? Was it with Ron, or was it with Jackie? Was it with, where did it come from? Drama is there. It's there in several places.
We would really appreciate any other thoughts that you might have about the book, the way it was written, or the characters that played in the tale of the story. Thank you so much.
As I read this book, of course, when you get into a good read, you just want more of it. And that's typical. I'm sure you've read some novels or articles or whatever. You say, oh, I could just keep reading this. And Glenn, if you could take the next 4 years and be totally free of all encumbrances and just go to places like, go to the captain of the ship, go to the nurse on the ship, go to some of the corollary characters that you picture, and get in depth some of their thought. It's the way Truman Capote did. He visited the farm where the murders took place, and he talked at length to everybody in that little town. And as I read this book, I kept thinking, that captain of the ship, what more could he tell? I mean, he would have hours of testimony. And the nurse, who was the only medical person on the ship, what more could she? But of course, that is a luxury nobody really has. But that to me is a sign of a good book. It's a good read, because you want to know more about these characters. That would be my only observation. And I know it's not possible as an author, but it's that kind of book.